right, welcome everybody here to the race here tonight at Richmond. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here tonight. 180 laps, 70 laps will be where we're going to go ahead and cut the stage. 100% fuel limit with 3 sets of tires down and in the pits. No fast repairs on this fixed setup league. Moats, Freeman, Coates, Sikosi, Nagy, Gingen, looks like Schumann, I believe Grimm, Lemieux, Price, and Jason Crumley are going to be our 10 drivers that we are going to have out here tonight as we get this one underway through our studios, getting a kickoff here of the Clean Harbors 250. A little bit of a slow start early in this race, as I was talking earlier to Brady Moats down there to see how he was doing there with Dark Star Garage. As he is trying to roll a few extra drivers to see if they can and maybe have a good race and start to fill up this field. Guys, NSR is definitely looking for drivers out there. Nothing stopping you from getting out there. Guadalupe Hernandez finally getting taken off here. He'll be, unfortunately, kind of in the back of the pack, but we'll see how we can chase it down. One of the key components out here is the setup, with these being open setups. Drivers are complaining a little bit about these cars being a little too tight out there. They're not really liking the way it feels, and I think it is definitely going to show here tonight. Brady Moats says his truck was feeling a little tight. He's dealing with some issues, and I think Glenn Grimm just got the same thing. Coming out of turn number 2, Glenn Grimm spins it there. That is not going to bring out a caution, as it looks like he goes ahead and loops it. Let me see if I can find a quick view here of Grimm to the, looks like, to the inside here. Nope. Thought he was mixing it up here on the 95 and might loop it right after that. Lap number 3, and I think he just gets caught a little off guard here, looking to see what gets Glenn Grimm. And I hate seeing him kind of getting knocked out here. There he is. Whoop. Yeah, just a little skid out there, so no problem. Jay out there going ahead and letting us know, hey, you were at the first truck race back in 1995. Jesus. Well, that definitely makes you old, Jay. I'm just kidding. All right, Brady Moats and John Freeman here in the front. Now remember, John Freeman and Brady Moats actually got into it there at the Glen. And once again, we find these two drivers side by side, actually nose to tail here, in the number 1 and 2 spot. Justin Cope and Brandon Schumann trying to catch up. You may kind of question out there just a little bit, hey, where in the world is the locker room? Well, it seems everybody, unfortunately, did get a little bit tangled up tonight, so the trucks are not here, and that is definitely thinning out our field here tonight. So the best they do return, and hopefully we will see them, as this, I believe, is the last race of the regular season that we are seeing. Currently, this is at Richmond. We move for the chase for the championship next week. We'll be at the Milwaukee Mile. Boy, if you think this track is tough, I wouldn't want to race there. That's going to be a very flat track. We're trying to hold on. Wood Dog out there saying some pretty cool schemes out there tonight. Yep, there's a few new ones out there. As we rotate back here through the field, looks like right now Freeman is just falling behind Brady Moats. Unchanged here in our top 3, Andrew Nagy sitting in 6th. And he's trying to maintain and be on his best behavior here tonight. Remember, I said he had been, last week, Andrew Nagy had been kind of public enemy number 1 out there. A lot of guys were really agitated with some of his driving style. He races these guys pretty hard, and I think they just try to get out there to Andrew Nagy that he does need to lay back a little bit and just let the race come to him instead of forcing the race and hoping for the best, and everybody else just kind of catching the flack from that. So Andrew Nagy out there in the Ford is sitting in 6th. Our 2 Toyotas out here in the race, held by Brady Moats and Brandon Schumann. Currently, both of these guys are sitting in the number 1 and the 4th spot. I don't know if you guys remember a little bit about last week, but the Toyotas did quite well. They are looking to definitely go back-to-back here with some strong finishes. Lap number 12 is underway here. As the sun goes ahead and sets down, we are waiting for the lights to fire off here at Richmond Raceway, and that should be an excellent addition, as right now I see the lights are starting to come on. You do see the flashing there on the trucks as they're starting to blink a little bit. And that is good. There they are. Yep, they're starting to warm up. So we will be racing under the lights here in a matter of moments. I'm sure about another 10 minutes we'll see these guys underneath the lights, and I guarantee you that will help these drivers immensely as we get these guys going. Currently, we see Schumann knocking off the wall there just a little bit in the number 62, and the second back since Mark's Kosi. Kosi actually falling back a little farther. He helps build these setups. Interesting little fact that we've got going on here. Not only is this league running the truck series here on Tuesday, but also on Saturdays, where I will be broadcasting as well. Saturdays will be the Gen 4, but it's going to be a custom fix setup. It's going to be an open setup. You won't make any adjustments to it other than the black box that you can adjust out there on the track, and that will give these guys to help free up these cars just a little bit in case they don't like the way they drive. It is a little bit of an option to make an adjustment. So guys, take a look at the Gen 4 Cup Series that is refiring off here on Saturday. They're going to be going for it, and I think they're going to be racing for a little bit of coin as well. The Clean Harbors 250, all green flags here. For here, the lap number 16. As this one's going to try to stretch out just a little bit here. John Freeman, I would assume we are not going to be under caution much at all here tonight. Very drivers few and far between here, as right now Brady Motes might be under fire here by John Freeman. They're going to be taking a look to see if they can pass. Freeman does dial it back just a hair as they're catching up to Hernandez, who's sitting in the dead last spot here. Let's take a look back. Right now, those are our leaders. He may be under fire here in just a moment. Right now, Hernandez did start from the pits all the way in the back, so this is going to be definite trouble for him if he continues this on. Oh, Hernandez, little stumble here. That's going to go ahead and put him a lap down now. Motes and Freeman go ahead and get on around, and there goes Cope. Hernandez going to be looking at the lucky dog spot as Lemieux Price sits in the 10th spot. Currently, he has got a decent amount of distance behind him. I would say not too much, though, as he definitely wants to start picking up the pace here. Only about just under half a lap ahead for Lemieux Price. So that's going to be some troubles right now. Currently exiting turn number 4 is going to be Price. And Hernandez, I think, ducking out of the way there, is currently Brandon Schumann working his way on around. And Hernandez looks like a unscheduled pit stop here. Not happy with the way that truck is running here tonight. Guadalupe Hernandez sitting down there with Speed Demon Racing, hoping to get maybe some pointers and some tips of what to do with that truck. I think it's not handling the way he wanted it to. And it shows. Here. All right, let's go ahead and kind of give a point out here. I do want to talk to you guys out there in the chat. Wood Dog joining us first here tonight, then Jay right after that taking over in the chat, letting us know what's going on. Jay out there still saying they even had the 164th truck that is unforgiving. Awesome, man. I would say I got my first race at Richmond from a crazy ex-girlfriend. Times you want to remember, times you don't. But lap number 23 is underway. We'll be completing this one. All Brady Motes here in the lead. He does not seem to be slowing down at all. I would say is Freeman sandbagging it a little bit here to run him down. Brady Motes enjoying his truck now. Currently, that thing seems to be on a rail here. The last 24 laps, but I'm a little concerned if he is going to have any trouble out of that truck later on here in the run as the tires start to set in. It almost looks like that truck is tightening up a little bit. Notice how he is entering the turn a little bit later, and I'm wondering if he's having trouble getting it to rotate. Real stiff going down. You do see a lot of weight shifting out there. A few things do change. Looks like Doug Macedo is out there with Fubar Studios and Yo-Yo. We are out here with the NSR Open Setup Truck Series. They run out here in the Craftsman Trucks having a good run here. Currently, Brady Moats getting out in front by a tenth. He was able to pull away here for the past couple of laps. That worked out well. And our first caution, the 95. Alexi is around. I'm seeing smoke, but I don't know if that's from under the hood. It looks like it here. We might have a broken radiator as we are smoking around, so the track crew will get out there, try to clean up some of that fluid out there on the track and see if they can get it nice and tacky again as the 95 machine working on down into pit road. First caution here of the night. We'll see who pits and who doesn't. We'll see if the 95 just self-loops it here. Yep, spin around, clink. And with this being such a small track and squeezed together, it definitely hurts, and hurts a lot. Would be able to talk to that driver here in the infield car care center, but we do not participate out there in Discord, so that will be unfortunate. Pit road starting to heat up. I would say a little unusual. John Freeman and Brandon Schumann stay out, and everybody else has come down into pit. Our pole sitter of Brady Moats will actually be falling a position down here as Mark Sikosi with a quick pit stop of 6.23, fuel and go for him. And that's going to slide him up to the third position. I see Doug Macedo out there saying he needs to join me sometime to see how to broadcast. Now, dude, I don't know how to broadcast. You fly by the seat of your pants here, buddy. I tuned back into the old 1990s race. You start looking at Ned Jarrett out there. When Mike Joy was a pit reporter. Ken Squire. You watch those guys. Those are where I learned a little bit out there. Just kind of get a little bit of the mannerisms that these guys do and kind of what they point out there on the track. And other than that, man, it's just taking in the information, looking a little bit of the history, and then just giving it to everybody out there. Some people do say I do broadcast like I'm on the radio, though, rather than you guys watching out here on TV, because I try to be as descriptive as possible as what we do see out here. And we'll see how all this kind of unfolds here. I would say this would give an opportunity here for Hernandez. Should get the wave around here. Now I'm looking to see if the 45 is going to do it. There you go, Jay out there, Benny Parsons. Yep, I think that was a different station. Were they on NBC? I think they might have been on NBC with Benny Parsons. That was a good voice. You can't, I mean, it's the voices out there that you can't mistake. The ones you know. You know, you get Mike Joy out there. I mean, Ned Jarrett. I mean, I had a guy in here, Jacob. Boy, he reminded me so much of Ned Jarrett out there. I mean, just he had that high-pitched voice, and just it came off so different. It was exactly what you got to do for it. All right, John Freeman, Brandon Schumann going to take us back here to the green. They'll be sitting in the front row, and without any tires and without any fuel, and get back to it. Fortunately, they won't have to work the heat back into the tires. Brady Moats goes ahead and makes quick work here of Mark Sikosi. He slides back up to the third position. Next on his list, Brandon Schumann. Currently, the two Toyotas side by side here. The 62 to the outside, Brady Moats to the inside. Looking to dive in here and see if he can make this pass. Very, very tight, close quarter combat there, and that's going to do it. Brady Moats now has second. Cope looking to catch up. Now remember, Sikosi with a fuel and go. He's running on the same tire strategies as our guy in the front, but he added a little bit of weight to the car by adding the fuel. Stage break will be at lap number 70, and we'll see how this goes. Hey, check it out there in the chat. Gavin Baumler. Gavin, definitely, if you have free time out there on Tuesdays, man, come out here and join your Dark Star buddy of Brady Moats. Moats has worked himself up to the second position and now working on the outside. He's got a full clear here from John Freeman. Ken Freeman crossing back up. It doesn't look like it as Brady Moats is starting to pick up the pace. Last lap, he went ahead and it was 0.3 faster, and I think Brady Moats is now starting to really put the hammer down. Only driver to break under 11 seconds in turn 1 and 2. And when I talk about section 1, that is going to be Brady Moats. from the start-finish line to halfway on the track, then from halfway on the track back to the start-finish line. He is the only driver now to break under 22 seconds, now a 21.90. So the number one, fresh tires, good adjustment here, and he is back out in front, and he is now starting to leave them here as John Freeman sits in third, Justin Cope, but it looks like we're going to head to another starting first name of Jason Crumley. He's going to bring out our second caution here of the night. Studios out there. Appreciate you for the compliment out there, buddy. It just comes to me naturally. Fortunately, I do not have to make a broadcaster voice. I just do it this way. And Jay out there, do it. Yep. All right, so now John Freeman. Looks like I bet 4 tires for this guy. Mark Sikosa going to do much of the same. Everybody that came down for Fuel and Goes here took tires. Well, Fuel and Go are coming back down probably to take tires as Brady Moats goes ahead and takes over. Jason Crumley bringing us out our second caution here of the night. Let's see what happens with the number 9. Currently is Chevrolet here to the inside. Schumann. Oh, boy. Did Schumann survive? Ouch. A little squish there by Schumann. And hopefully it does not affect him too bad. Kind of take a quick peek here. It's a little closer. Yeah, the 62 will be A-OK. Excellent. Looks like we got guys out there with a little bit of that Rob Schneider out there. Maybe call back from the water boy. You can do it. Definitely appreciate you guys subscribing out there. That's how I know you have, because you can chat out there with us. Go ahead and put your 2 cents into the race. Any questions that you guys have going on, I try to answer them. And trust me, the drivers even go back and rewatch their race from this angle and see what maybe they have messed up or what we saw from our side. So they can also see the chat out there. So if you guys say, somebody's doing really well, Andrew Nagy for the win, they do see that as well when they tune back in to the broadcast, which will, of course, be saved out there on YouTube, or you can go ahead to simtraxbroadcasting.com, and all the past races from day 1 till now are posted up there. So you can even go back and watch the first Daytona 500 race out there. I believe it was with the Racing Revolution. And all the way back with the NSR League, I believe we had the Graceland Series out there as well. And now we've got the National Oval Racing Association. We've got the Bandit Racing League. USRL was out there. Tons of stuff. The Doghouse Racing League, they were out there. And Stella, if you're tuned in, I'm sure you can remember ones I probably have forgotten. I don't believe so. I think I might have selected them all. Even the Big Show. That was another one out there. All right. Brady Moats back on the loud pedal here to get lap number 40 started. Jason Crumley was able to fix that truck up just enough out there, but Crumley, oddly enough, comes down into pit road for fuel only and gets back out there, especially after losing control last time he was out. John Freeman starts in the wrong lane as Brady Moats goes in and pulls Justin Cope with him here. And Cope, I guarantee you, Cope's going to be looking for the lead here. Currently, we haven't seen him win a race in quite some time. I think he's due. But Brady Moats, the outsider here. The Dark Star Garage still leading this race. Leading all but a handful. John Freeman's time was short-lived up front. He had a yellow flag back on lap number 26 as Alexi ended up looping it around. Has taken it back to the garage, so blown engine for Alexi. That's going to leave us with 10 drivers left. Juan Hernandez sitting in that number 10 spot. One more caution, he should be back on the lead lap. And then we went 9 laps later, and Jason Crumley ended up looping it there on lap number 35. Fortunately, Brandon Schumann did not suffer too much damage. Cope drops down, and now Freeman aiming for the number 1 spot. Brady Moats trying to work it here on the inside. Currently, Freeman does have better tires as he came in on lap number 36 to get his put on. Brady Moats on lap 27. Don't fret. Brady Moats will have a chance to regain and catch back up. Freeman does have the tire advantage here. So John Freeman into the lead. Currently is looking strong. Very strong out there for the 42. Awesome job. Let's check in, I believe, on Brandon Schumann. Schumann looks like he's starting to put a little bit of pressure here on Glenn Grimm. Grimm did have some trouble earlier here in the race, back on, I believe it was lap number 3. Unfortunately, looped that 08 around, but no damage was collected. And Grimm back to it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm probably wrong. Glenn Grimm, actually the man, the myth, the legend there from CNC Motorsports. Currently all his drivers, Brandon Schumann, Andrew Nagy, and John Freeman are out there. Currently Nagy, I believe, is the only driver farther down. Currently Nagy sitting 7th. Right now, Nagy has been pretty quiet here as of the past couple of weeks. He came out here like hellfire, winning a bunch of races, getting commanding leads out there, and it seems Andrew Nagy's fallen off a good bit here. It seems to get the stroke of luck that he came in to this league with, and he's looking to see if he can come back with that same energy here tonight. 7th place is where he sits, though. We'll see if Andrew Nagy decides to attack this field, maybe in the later stages of this race. Brandon Schumann does slide up to 3rd, going in, knocking Cope out of any podium position here. Freeman's still up front, I believe, by about half a second is where he's going to lead out in front of Brady Moats. Actually a second and a half before Brady Moats can find John Freeman, as Freeman has gone ahead and taken his plane ticket and is taken off here. He is leaving these guys in the dust. 1.7 seconds now as Brady Moats is just holding on to this line. Here so far. Lap number 50 is complete. Keep this wrapping around. Let's check back in on Nagy. Nagy going ahead and putting his crew chief of Glenn Grimm behind him. Next will be Mark Sikosi. Sikosi, a very tough driver out here. Definitely at 88 Chevrolet, looking to definitely be the man to beat here tonight. Let's check in. Brandon Schumann. Looks like he's putting some pressure here on Brady Moats. Now Schumann running on the same pit strategy that John Freeman is, and that's going to switch it around. CNC Motorsports looking to get 1 and 2, and Moats still fighting on. Oddly enough, Brady Moats out there in the truck. Remember, he is out there on his own team by himself as the Lone Ranger, so he has no help, nothing to change. Brandon Schumann getting loose. Looked a little bit like Crumley to the inside, and Brady Moats may be heading around. Caution does come out. Looks like Moats is able to save it. Wow. I'd say it might be suicide taking that second set of tires. They'll only have one left here for the race if they take them now. And I would probably not recommend taking any tires here. Moats may come down for fuel to make it to lap 70 if he hasn't already had enough. Should be about 50 to 53 laps out there on fuel. They may be able to stretch that farther. Moats heading into pit. Oddly enough. All right, we saw that live time. What ended up getting Brady Moats around. Looked like Schumann was getting loose out of 2. Here's where he saves it. And Schumann does not want to give up. I would say this may be Schumann's issue here, as he took it down way to the bottom and kind of dive-bombed it in there a little bit. Watch how Brady Moats is able to sling this back around. Oof. What a dodge there by Justin Cope. Full speed here. I believe Cope is the one who catches up. I may be incorrect. That actually may be Nagy who gets around him here. Yeah, this is Nagy who has to switch it up as you see the slip up. That was close. tough race here so far. Still haven't made it to our stage break. I think everybody's going to probably hold on and come down and take their second set of tires at the stage break on lap number 70. Still, even when lap number 70 is our stage break, that's still not even halfway into the race. That's going to be pretty tough. So Brandon Schumann getting a little tight in there. And dove in just a little bit too hard. And we might have the opportunity to talk to the number 62 if we have the chance. Brandon Schumann, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I know a little hard racing out here. Talk to me about that last turn here, bud.
You know, got loose off of 2, sending in there a little too deep. Well, got loose off of 2, and then, you know, tried keeping my momentum up and, you know, slid a little bit. It was more like a slow slide, not like a fast slide. I just sent it in there a little too deep going into 3 and took Brady out. But, you know, I told him I apologize, and he understood. You know, it's just hard racing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we did see you getting loose out of 2, and it looked like you were trying to make up the ground diving into 3, and that truck just did not want to hold. How's it holding for you here so far before we get back on the green?
Pretty good.
All right, man. Good luck to you out there.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, and right now that is Brandon Schumann out there who ended up slinging into Brady Motes. Motes was up there in that second position, and now Motes will be starting back from 8. We talk about Brady Motes a lot out there. Glenn Grimm currently here to the outside. Sikosi's firing to the inside. Currently that is Sikosi out there in the 88 Chevrolet trying to do some work. Currently as he tries to see if the Exalta machine can hold on. Right now it looks like Grimm might have a little bit of trouble here through 1 and 2. That's going to give Sikosi the advantage. Only 3/4 of that truck does clear, though. The 08 of Glenn Grimm trying to hold on. He doesn't want to give up, and he's going to have to. Sikosi's got it. Take a ride on top here of Glenn Grimm. John Freeman still sitting here in the lead. Schumann is second, Cope third. Now Glenn Grimm hovering right dead center, just about center. We had 12 drivers, we had 11, so Glenn Grimm sitting 6th. And he is currently trying to reel these guys in. As we take a look back from Glenn Grimm, that is Brady Motes working the inside of Jason Crumley. Crumley trying to hold on, though, as we get under 10 laps before we find our stage break. So Brady Motes picks another one off. He moves up to now 7th. Even stopping on lap number 74 tires. Probably 4 tires for most of the crew out there. When do you take that final set? I think that'll be the key to success here tonight, and who will win this race. Is to wear out those tires as far as you can. And I would say probably that lap, probably at lap 135 is going to be the key. They can get to 135, 140, or possibly a little bit later, depending on the amount of fall off. You'll be able to come back with a vengeance with the amount of tire life that you do have, and then you can really beat on this truck and to get up to the front. So Brandon Schumann now under fire here by Justin Cope, and Freeman once again driving away. He's almost got a 2-second lead here. It seems to be that even at this track that the clean air is key right now. Freeman now 1.8, 1.9, and it's continuing to grow. Right now, notice Cope. He said he looks to the inside, slide back to the outside. Cope triangulating the turn here. See if he can find a groove to make this pass. We sit inside here with Cope. Cope looking to the inside here, gets a fender on him. That's exactly what he was looking for. Let's take a look right out the side. The 62 machine in a little bit of trouble here. He did not like that turn. we are going to have some bumping and rubbing heading down the front stretch. Look at Cope trying to squeeze him in here, but is not getting it. Cope still side by side, getting into the turn pretty hot here as they get almost door to door. Fortunately, they don't trade any paint here as they get back underway. Lap 66. Currently, Cope is continuing this fight here. And oddly enough, the more two drivers sit side by side at the short track, that is going to allow the leader to pull away. That's exactly what's happening. Currently over top of Justin Cope, who now has the second position. 2 3/4 of a second out there for John Freeman. Does not seem to be like it is hurting him at all. Freeman does have 2 sets of tires still left down there in pit, as he took his last set back on lap number 36. Not his last set, but the last set he took was on lap 36. Still holding on the outside here as they come to the line one more time around here. And we should be bringing out the stage. Currently Andrew Nagy taking a peek underneath here of Cope. Schumann blocks to the inside. Schumann able to get the separation he needs over Cope. Andrew Nagy now dives it in. Nagy sitting across the line. Lap number 7 he started. Got to wait for Price to get past this line. For our top 10 drivers, Freeman still in the front. Brady Moats now up to 6th. Currently, as he's trying to run down Andrew Nagy here, that's going to be pretty close. Don't think he's going to have anything for him because Mark Sikosi to the inside. Sikosi to 4th. Across the line there, 10th driver does make it across. Caution comes out for our stage. John Freeman's going to be the winner of our stage out there. Awesome job. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk to John Freeman about his stage win here as he shuffles around the track to find the base car. Appreciate you guys joining us out there in the chat here at SimTraX Broadcasting. This has definitely been an interesting race here so far. Not too many cautions. I would say some a little more than... normally we see a good slew of cautions, but not in this case. Clean Harbors 250 is getting ready to see our guys come down in the pit road. Now would be a really good time to talk to you guys a little bit about SEO and marketing. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but the affordable SEO and marketing, check it out, because that is definitely something I need to look into. Get everybody on the top of the search engines. Ooh, John Freeman misses the box there. And we'll see if that changes up a little bit. But as I was talking a little bit about affordable SEO and marketing, if you're a business owner trying to stand out online, listen up, guys. Affordable SEO and marketing helps local businesses rank higher on Google, get you more calls, and land more customers without burning your budget. Whether you're a contractor, service pro, or a small business, we can help you get found and grow fast. Well, you might be wondering, what's the best part of this deal? They're affordable and they're effective. Just like the teams you see on the track here tonight, they're focused, competitive, and built for performance. So if you're ready to take the poll out there on Google, call them at 315-753-8000. That's 315-753-8000. Or visit Syracuse, New York, NY, SEO.com. And and go ahead and put your business out there into the winner's circle. Affordable SEO and marketing. Get found, get results. As the drivers come out of pit road here, we're going to cut over to commercial here from a shout out from the rest of our sponsors out there. And we are definitely going to get a kind of a hint of what these guys are doing. 4 tires and fuel for everybody, and it may be just a little bit longer for some of these other guys fixing some of the damage. We'll be right back after the shout out from our sponsors. Pace car heading on off the track here. Justin Cope will be side by side to take the green back out to get lap number 76 started here at the Clean Harbors 250. Richmond Raceway definitely bringing a ton of excitement out here, but I would say after the stage, this is where we level the playing field. Fresh tires, another adjustment down pit road, and they'll definitely see if they have made the right adjustment. Glenn Grimm take a look to the outside as his own teammate Andrew Nagy almost slides up into his left rear quarter panel, and Brandon Schumann is around. Schumann way out of shape here, and Andrew Nagy the same. Two drivers from the same exact race crew out there. Might be going the wrong way. A little too loose. That does unfortunately get him looped around here. Schumann was the first one to get looped. And right there's Schumann. And Schumann clicking Nagy. All right, so it's our fourth caution here of the night. 5 in total if you want to count the stage. We continue. Watch these guys duke it out here. So Jay knows a little bit about Richmond. I've been to Richmond as well. Great place to be. Definitely seats a lot of fans that come out to watch these guys race. Is definitely an exciting race, definitely as close as they get. You see drivers like Junior go to the inside of Tony Stewart back when they were racing. Pablo Montoya was out there causing a ruckus. Michael Waltrip riding always on the high line. There's tons of drivers out there. I believe even Kyle Busch had a lot of success here at this track. But as we sit here with the trucks, right now John Freeman showing the most success out here. I would like to note that sitting in that number 3 spot is going to be Brady Motes. He has returned back. Jay out there saying he's been to so many races. Currently, Jay, I had gone to an Indianapolis race to go out there and see the Brickyard 400. That was pretty exciting. Recently, I've been going to a lot of Darlington races. I think it would definitely compete very well out there with Richmond. There's definitely some side-by-side racing out there. Guys trying to kill each other around each and every turn. Especially the track that is too tough to tame out there. Every one of them. Pace car lights should be turning off this time by. And it looks like lane choice for John Freeman. He chooses the high line. And this is going to give Sikosi a really good chance to get taken off here. Right now, if Motes would like to regain the lead that he had earlier here in the race, he may have to give Justin Cope a good push to get this one started and not fall off. Bill Harkins out there in the chat saying, evening. Hey, mister. Welcome to the open setup NSR Truck Series here tonight. The Clean Harbors 250. Pace car heading down into pit road. It is time to get this back over green. That is going to be John Freeman here to the outside. Good push there as lap number 82 starts with Freeman in front. Justin Cope sitting second, and Sikosi, that I thought had a good chance there at the restart, is now falling back. Currently, Sikosi now to fourth. Glenn Grimm here to the inside. 08 underneath the paint. That's going to cause him to bounce. Grimm having to fall back. So tough to make the passes here. As you can see, Brandon Schumann doing just that here to his own teammate of Andrew Nagy. Puts Nagy in the rear view mirror. Sikosi looking to see if he can get back up there. As currently, Sikosi has Brady Motes in his crosshairs. Toyota's separated by at least 4 positions. Brady Motes sitting 3rd, Schumann 7th. Lap 84 is underway. Less than 100 laps left to go here, Richmond. These things are definitely churning away here. Each lap, average of about 22 seconds. We continue having some cautions out there. We may be sitting at almost a minute a lap if we keep this up. Only one driver here tonight has retired. Alexei Vigent out there. Retired back there on lap number 26. Coming out of turn 2 and smashing the front nose into the inside wall. Knocking the radiator out, so that ended up doing too much engine damage. And hopefully we'll see the 95 Ford come back next week at Milwaukee Mile. This is the end of the regular season here. This is coming to an end. What a new beginning it will be on Saturdays out there with the Gen 4 custom open setup. Find these guys out there and what we mean by the custom open setup. They will give you a modified setup to go out there and give a good run. Modifications will be made via black box. Driver out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. Black box, are able to make adjustments. Slight wedge turn out there. And tire pressure adjustments. To me, that was the biggest thing. Sometimes that was a make or break of your race. As soon as that track cools down a little bit, you pump up the tire pressure and start building heat. See if he can get it back out there. Currently Freeman being uncontested here. 0.8 of a second, not able to scurry away as easily as he did last time. As currently 7 laps into this green flag run, Freeman pulling away. Cope now up to a second behind. Cope off the wall. Delco number 2. Man. That's number 2 I saw. I think was back there with Miller Lite out there with Rusty Waltz. Halfway through the race, this is it. Crossing the line to go ahead and start the halfway point. John Freeman still in the lead. Right now, I don't know if Motes is going to be able to catch him here, but there's still a lot of race left to go. Brandon Schumann working out here. So Grimm, Schumann, Nagy, currently 5, 6, and 7. Tough race here for all the drivers. This has definitely been a heartbreaker for some, especially Alexi out there. But I would say Hernandez has been able to get back onto the lead lap here and is now sitting 9th. Not bad for starting 2 laps behind. As the number 45 Chevrolet definitely used some help out there. Currently seeing his speed sitting about 130 miles an hour. As he gets down the front and back stretch here, it seems that car is just kind of moving around like a block. And he might need to loosen that car up just a little bit to get through these turns. All right, let's take a look. Roller tape back up here to Satoshi sitting 4th. Motes has gone ahead and put Cope behind him. And now Motes is going to have the task at hand to try to run down John Freeman. That's now a 2-second gap Brady Motes has got to figure out here to see if he can get him behind him. Most drivers only have 1 set of tires left. John Freeman falls into that category. Pit back on lap number 36. Now we pit on 72 for 4 tires. They've got to try to figure out how to split the second half. Brady Motes holding tight. Remember, these 2 drivers have stayed almost nose to tail there for about 30 to 40 laps. And no one was gaining on either one of them. Currently sitting on lap 96 with John Freeman, Brady Motes, and Justin Cope, 1, 2, and 3. Oddly enough, Cope and Sikorsky returning back to their original qualifying positions. And Brady Motes and John Freeman have flip-flopped in their front row starting positions. All right, looks like Sikosi getting ready to start filling that rear view mirror out there of Justin Cope. Sikosi sitting right behind him here. Let's hop inside and take a ride along with Sikosi. A little loose coming out of 4. And you see just a little mistake like that has cost him a good bit of time. That cost him at least a 10th just by a wiggle. And also something else to note here for Sikosi. Notice how those RPMs are not getting very high. Hovering about that 72 to 7,500 range. They can crank up about another 5 to 1,000 RPMs. And I'm wondering if Sikosi is thinking long distance race. If he can keep those RPMs real low, he should be able to have a good amount of fuel mileage and might be able to stretch this out. Somebody else to kind of keep in mind. Let's take a look here at John Freeman. Same, you see a little bit of bobbing there by John Freeman. 2 1/4 seconds for Brady Moats to catch up to him here. Lucy's sitting in 4th, Cope is 3rd. Shuffles us back here to Glenn Grimm, who's sitting in 5th, Brandon Schumann and Andrew Nagy. These 2 guys are the closest ones out there, only by 0.3 of a second. Jason Crumley falling off by almost 2.5 seconds. If I'm not mistaken, Hernandez is going to be in some trouble here very, very quickly. That is Hernandez, and there's John Freeman. Currently the 38 of Neil Price, currently sitting 9th, and it's got Hernandez, who's sitting in that 10th spot, scrambling to stay out front. Yeah, you guys out there who join us here at SimTraX Broadcasting a bunch should know Guadalupe Hernandez. He goes by LJ out there in the chat. Roots on normally Brian Jones out there in the 45 and the National Oval Racing Association on Monday nights. And Hernandez goes down a lap here. Unfortunate for him. Price is next on the dish out there for John Freeman. Giving Freeman a little bit of an opportunity as he is reeling in the back, using a little bit of that draft to get up to speed. Brady Moats needs to come up with the same answer. Currently, this is holding him up a little bit. John Freeman was up to 2 1/4 seconds, now under 2. So Freeman getting caught up here. And it looks like Price goes ahead and gets out of his way. Brady Moats was kind of seeing if he could start bribing these guys and hold them up just a little bit more so he can get to his rear bumper. That's not going to work. Let's see if Freeman can stretch the distance. Brady Moats to the inside. Hernandez goes ahead and rides high. Still Moats holds it under 2-second gap. Just barely. Able to hold that 2-second gap here. Still is having a lot of work to do to see if he can fight back there. Once again, appreciate Bill Harkins for joining us out there in the chat here tonight. Richmond Raceway is over halfway done, less than 80 laps to go here at Richmond. Richmond Raceway, a pretty tough track out here. Especially some of the complaints from drivers when the safer barrier walls went in. Makes it a little more difficult to get the ride out of that turn. They are definitely trying their best out there to hold on. Some lap traffic out there, sitting 6th. Glenn Grimm scrubbing the wall up top. Right now that does, that's going to hurt him a little bit. Glenn Grimm falling off. Now remember, these guys have not pit since lap 72. This right now is the longest green flag run we've had yet. Nobody coming in to take tires and fuel. Now with times entering, see that Guadalupe heading on down. As I say that, time's running about 22 to 23 seconds, average pit time. In and out of the lane, including the box, about 44 seconds. So you were looking at possibly 2 laps down as you come in, and an ill-timed caution from somebody on a set of new tires will destroy your race. Freeman and Moats are going to hang out as long as they absolutely can and see who can overcome the other one. All right, take a look at who's out there in the chat. Josh Conover, one of the admins out there from the National Oval Racing Association, saying it's odd watching you guys and not driving. Yeah, buddy. Well, you could have been out here, mister, but I think you were out there playing in the dirt, weren't you? Well, there's no better time than now. Guys, join up out here in that truck series. They're looking for drivers. We started with 11. One is retired here for the night. 2 drivers have gone down a lap now. And that would be Guadalupe Hernandez and Neil Price. Hernandez did come down as his 4th visit here of the night. 4 tires and fuel for him. As we've got our eyes out there on Brady Moats. No favoritism here. Let's shove ourselves back here to Jason Crumley. As Conover saying, small count, quick night, your favorite. I don't think so. I think you would love 4 or 5 heats before you get to the feature. Appreciate you guys subscribing out there and going ahead and putting a little chat up out there. Tell us what you're thinking. We're coming to less than 60 laps to go here the next couple times around. Still Freeman out front by 1.8 seconds. Has Moats saved enough tire to try to run him down? Conover, see if you can find some of your guys over there at the National Oval Racing Association to come run the truck series here on Tuesday. I know you guys like the Gen 4s. If that's the case, then you should come race on Saturdays out there in the Gen 4. They're running 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the custom fixed setup out there. So they will have a custom setup for you to use, and then black box adjustments on out there inside the car. I think it will definitely assist in any kind of loose or tightness you feel out there, and the way the track changes. I prefer an open setup. Again, I can change the car to the way I drive rather than my driving style changing to the car. Freeman now holding out 1.7. Moats starting to pick up the pace a little bit here. Going ahead and chopping off 2/10 over the past 5 to 6 laps. And it's working out. Little by little he goes. Brady Moats' time still holds as the only driver to break under 22 seconds. Cope is sitting 3rd. Work with Sikosi on a little bit of setup work here as they come down in the pit for one last time. Hopefully, here for the night. They will come down, make their last adjustment, throw on their last set of tires, top it off with fuel, and then gun it to the end. Andrew Nagy sits 5th. Brandon Schumann is 6th. Jason Crumley right behind him, less than 2/10 behind him. Crumley is up 3 from his original starting position. Glenn Grimm has stumbled back to the 8th position. And the 08 Chevrolet is out in front of Lemuel Price, who's currently 9th. Now Price is down a lap, though. Hernandez, I believe, looking at the time, should be about 3 laps down. Grimm better hurry up just a little bit as he sits about 16.5 seconds behind. That's not going to leave much time before Jason Freeman finds him. Currently, Motes now chops off another 10th, less than a second and a half. Freeman, fast in the early part of this run, is now starting to show signs of fatigue. Whether it be the driver or the tires, one is starting to fall off, and Motes is looking to cash in. And now that Toyota is stretching it out as far as he can. Remember I said about that lap 135, 140 mark is going to be our cue. We're getting very close as lap number 127 underway. Also looking for car count as well. The National Oval Racing Association out there on Mondays. It's starting to come to a crunch time here before we start tumbling into the playoffs. That should be exciting. Right now, I would say most of our leagues are out there in the playoffs. This being the last race of the regular season. Playoffs start next week here for the trucks. Nora on Mondays will be heading into the playoffs here pretty soon. We're already in the playoffs out there for the Bandit Racing League. Some leagues starting, some running their course and to the end. It won't be long. We'll see these guys fired back up. I'm interested to see if they stick with the trucks, if they stay with Gen 4s, if they stay with next-gen cars, and what everybody else decides to do. You know me, that's when I get to figure out if we're going to be re-signing or not. Yay! Joe Freeman still out front. This guy's been leading it at least since lap 77 and beyond. Currently this guy stays out front. Currently he's going to be leading almost half this race so far. And Motes now starting to fall off just a hair. I'm wondering if Freeman's been trying to take it easy and do a little fuel conservation. Jay out there, appreciate the compliment out there, buddy. Awesome drivers and broadcasts out there. I would say we've got hotheads in every single one of our leagues, though. We got our guys that can drive the wheels off of them. We got our menaces out there that cause all sorts of trouble and give a lot of the drivers headaches out there. And that is something you can find everywhere. I knew even back with the Racing Revolution, we had a guy named Ted Wreckage. He'd do some work out there. Running out there at the Bandit Racing League. Mark Allen Bivens is been doing a heck of a job out there, leading out there in the points. But Curtis Yancey coming from behind, racing every other week, and is now running almost every other race out there. Yancey really been doing some good work. Motes kind of nicks it off the wall just a hair. And Andrew Nagy looks like he's going to be our first driver to take advantage of pit road here. 23.5 seconds was his last time, and he wants to get back to those low 22 lap times. Early shot as lap number 134. He comes in on 132. He's going to be a lap down when we find him. Ted Wreckage. No. No, if you really want to know, it's spelled like Rhett Itch. All right, Freeman. Well, Steed, Motes, Cope. Who's going to pit first? I'm saying that's going to be the cue. I think Motes may wait for Freeman to come in. Motes slack off a little bit. Really rolling back here to Brandon Schumann. Schumann still has Jason Crumley right behind him here. Oddly enough, you're used to seeing number 24 DuPont Chevrolet out there, especially in the National Racing Association with Vincent Arthur. Vincent Arthur has a pretty good run out there in the 24 Chevrolet. But we see the DuPont Chevrolet number 9 here. Jason Crumley looking at the inside of Schumann. Schumann might be in some trouble here. As Crumley trying to hold on. We take a look out the passenger window. Crumley looking to not loop it again. He had trouble earlier back on lap 35. There's a good plant. Right now Crumley should be able to rotate up. Crumley's got to let go of the wheel, rotate up behind the 62, and then he would have had a good run into 1. But ended up holding it down. Ended up costing him a little bit of speed here, so the 9 of Crumley going to have to tuck in behind the 62 again. Jay saying he liked the Pepsi paint. Yes, that is exactly what you heard. Yeah, it was wreck-itch, but it's like Rhett-itch. It was pronounced different. All right, 40 laps left to go. We check in on Sikosi. Sikosi currently sitting in 4th. 4/10 separate Schumann and Crumley now. And who is going to fold first? Is it going to be Freeman coming down? Is it going to be Brady Motes coming down? Will Cope come down? I think fuel is going to be the thing of the past here. Will they decide to stick it out here? Andrew Nagy getting to 22:06. That's his fastest time personally for himself. Currently sitting in 8th. Keep this solid roll on. Currently through turn 1 and 2, 10:99. Fastest time for turn number 1 and 2. Awesome job. Jay out there, Rainbow Warriors. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jay, I would probably have to say if you do the ride along out there with Fox Sports, that you could actually ride along in the T-Rex car during the All-Star race. That was probably one of the most insane ride-alongs I've ever seen. And that's why that car made it. I think it was a total of 70 laps, and then it was outlawed. That was it. Brandon Schumann had been overtaken by Jason Crumley there, and then Schumann comes back and passes Crumley. So it looks like Schumann's got a little left in the tank here, and a little fight back left in that truck. Currently, Motes has done his best out here and has broken to about 1 second behind John Freeman. John is definitely holding on tight here. I would be curious to know if he's trying to save this truck here. Decent turn, looking to see if Freeman is clutching this thing at all. Does not appear so. Freeman holding on tight. Motes slowly reeling him in here. We take a look out there at our battle box between these two. Could they make it and not pit? What they were telling me fuel mileage wise, that is impossible. 100% fuel limit. There is still a possibility of this being an all-out race. We'll see. John Freeman still holding up front. Currently Freeman showing some definite issues here. Freeman now down to 3/4 of a second. Motes makes up a ton of room, and Motes may be able to reach up front. Grab a hold of that draft. We'll check back in on here in a second. Once again, Crumley back on Schumann again. Conover saying Brady's going to choke. Hopefully not. I think Brady Motes is doing a heck of a job. If you tuned in last week at the Glen, Brady Motes had actually gotten into the back of John Freeman through the bus stop on the first turn. actually spun them both out there. Brady Moats had come to a stop and let John Freeman get back in front of him so they could resume the race. So right now, if everybody's really looking at, who wears the cape out here, it's going to be Brady Moats. This guy has been doing an awesome job of racecraft out here and sportsmanlike conduct that he does show. Now, Josh Conover knows that trusting the process does and does not work. Yep, I can see you out there saying it's going to fizzle out. That there is a possibility that Brady Moats could fumble the ball here, but I just don't think so, as we would seem to be running up on some lap traffic. Glenn Grimm will be next on the list. We'll see. Only less than 30 laps left to go. Moats got him to within 0.6 of a second here. This is going to be an excellent run. Freeman still holding on tight. John Freeman. If Freeman comes down and pits before Moats, I don't think Moats will be able to catch him. So if Freeman decides to pit, realizing they are or not going to make it on fuel, that's going to be the question. Give another shout out there to Affordable SEO and Marketing, but real business gets results. If you're looking to stand out online, listen up, guys. You can use these guys, Affordable SEO and Marketing. They help local business rank higher on Google, where you can get more calls, land customers without burning your budget. Whether you're a contractor, service pro, or small business, we can help you get found, grow fast. Well, what's the best part? They're not just affordable, they're effective. Just like the team tonight, they're focused, competitive, built for performance. So if you're ready to take the poll out there on Google, call them at 315-753-8000 or visit SyracuseNYSEO.com. Let's put your business in the winner's circle. Affordable SEO and Marketing. Get found, get results. Speaking of getting results here, we tune back in to John Freeman and Brady Moats. Moats now under less than half a second here. Currently he is trusting the process, and it is working. Currently, I'm interested to see how long Moats can hold out with 26.5 laps left to go. Currently, he is reeling him in. 0.3 now. Freeman getting nervous. If there's a little mirror driving out there by the 42 Chevrolet in that number 1 spot, will they need to pit? Schumann in the pit. We'll see here. Now Moats is starting to tick him off. John Freeman, if he decides to pit, that's going to be the move. Andrew Nagy, who pit back on lap 132, has passed Brandon Schumann, who's already worked his way out of pit. 4 tires and fuel, that should be his last set. 24 to go, Moats on him. And now this is going to be some tough racing here. Taking a look back off John Freeman. Back at the number 1 Dark Star Garage Toyota. Brady Moats backs up that turn and is able to push through center. That is definitely where he is capitalizing here. Backing the turn way up. And then trying to see if he can shoot through the turn. Like the angle here. Definitely working it. Here they are, coming across that front stretch. Nose to tail. It's working hard. Let's hop inside Brady Moats. Taking a look as we get his helmet cam here. Looking to see, you can see Moats doesn't want to nudge him here. And they do not want to revisit what happened to the Glen. Moats backing way up. I think he's nervous about getting in the back of John Freeman there. Reels him in again and still not looking to make the pass. Oh, shot here for Freeman in the wall. And Brady Moats takes a look, decides not to. Sits back just a little bit. Moats seems to have some opportunities, but he's not taking it. 20 to go. Queen Harbor's 250 here. Definitely an exciting one. We were back, yellow flag, back under lap, seems from my ticker here, showing about lap 76. They're going for it. Bro, Moats. I think Moats has got a fender on him here, decides not to. All right, Glenn Grimm did come in. on lap number 72 with the rest of these guys as they are now starting to lap the field of guys who have yet to pit. So Grimm watching his teammate speed by in the lead. Now sits in that second spot. Moats trying to figure out a plan of attack here. Diving into turn 1, taking another look. Remember Schumann. Schumann is down 2 laps here. Schumann going to be looking to get around. Hopefully Schumann does not get into Moats. Moats having to not ride high side. Oddly enough, look at this. These are 2 teammates here. Schumann and Freeman. Schumann around the outside. And Moats trying to use it to his advantage, has to cross over. Whoa. Yeah, it was a great idea by Brady Moats, trying to see if he could slice to the outside as well, following Schumann around. That is not going to be the case. Did not work out for him there. Onto the wall goes with Neil Price, not going to bring out a caution here. Trying to stay out of the way. Still, scrubbing the wall is John Freeman. The body shop man is not going to be happy about that. We get ready to cross the line, bringing us to 15 laps left to go here. Clean Harbors 250 at Richmond Raceway. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. Don't forget to subscribe here to the channel. You can either keep the notifications on or off. That way you can find your favorite drivers out here and the streams in which we are going to be busy. 14 to go. Brady Moats has got to attack now. Moats taking a look to the inside. Currently not getting any steam here as he's trying to see if he can find a weak spot. Weak spot seems to be John Freeman making contact with the wall out of 2. Moats looking to figure out if he can drive through this. Sir currently sitting on top of the number 1 Toyota 13. Right now, Moats, if he can find just a little groove here, expect a nudge. Sometimes it's all, I would say, all in good fun, but a little strategy is to go up there and give a little bump to the back of the truck. Let him know you're there, then he'll know that maybe he's messing up. Try to change his line so you guys don't make contact again. And that's loosening him up just a little bit. Right, Moats all over him here, waiting to strike. Got less than 15 miles left here in this race. Brady Moats sitting back less than 2/10 behind. Looks like the fans are starting to get on the edge of their seat here with 10 laps left to go. Brady Moats looking to be the stronger truck of the 2. He's waiting for John Freeman to make the mistake. To pass him cleanly. John Freeman wants to come away with a win. Josh Conover out there in the chat. We'll see if he is right, if we're going to run out of talent out here, and the process will fail him. Brady Moats starting to get a little bit loose here. I'm wondering if he's pushing a little too hard now, down to 3/10. Moats is riding a lot higher coming out of turn 4. All right, Moats once again attacking again. Less than a quarter of a second behind. John Freeman sits in the 42. These are our 2 closest drivers. Justin Cope and Mark Sikosi back to their original qualifying positions of 3rd and 4th. As it looks like Sikosi will be a 2.5 seconds behind his own teammate. Currently Moats trying to see if he can loosen that 42 up a little bit without making contact. Moats getting super close here. Moats may have to start riding higher down the front stretch to see if he can get a run on John Freeman. Brady Moats drops it below the paint just a hair. And remember, these guys have yet to pit since lap 72. They sure wish there were tires they could put on the truck. Scrub to the wall from Freeman again. Brady Moats trying to get some fresh air to the nose of that truck. And it's coming up empty-handed. Conover saying he's scared out there. That might be a possibility from what we're seeing here. It looks like Moats has tons of opportunities. I just don't know if that truck is just getting way too tight on him and he can't get around him. Five laps left to go. Brady Moats taking a look here to the inside. There's a little snug. Right there to the rear bumper of John Freeman's Chevrolet. We float around the field, but this is the battle for the lead. Brady Moats, 4 to go. Starting to quickly run out of time. You start factoring in 22 seconds. He's looking at, he's going to need to make a decision here in just under a minute and a half. Currently Moats plowing into the turn. Notice how he wiggles on the way in. Brakes starting to overheat. Moats running out of time, 3 to go. The number 1 Toyota does want to make the pass, but wants to do it the right way and does not want to cause problems. Right now, Moats having to dial back just a little bit. He falls off to 3/10 again. Going back on for the heat. Can he get any more? Jason Crumley going to be next, and will this lap traffic cause problems? Brady Moats to the inside. Gets a fender in there. This might be his shot. Brady Moats now side by side. Only very close. Freeman getting loose. A little bit of door draft there from the 42, and Brady Moats in the side of him. Moats lets off the gas there. Almost looks like he gives this position back up. Moats is now loose. That's going to do it. Moats looks like he locks him up through 3 and 4, and that's going to end the battle there. And John Freeman looking to run this one to the end. Wow. Not sure what happened to Moats, but he comes across in second as John Freeman takes the win here at the Clean Harbors 250. Great last 30 laps from these two. As you thought it was going to be a little more, Brady Moats is currently out there. Josh Conover would say he chickened out of that one. And you would think he almost had him. Let's take a look as they were right next to each other. Moats here to the inside. He's got him side by side here. Freeman makes the mistake. Yeah, it looks like Moats had the line, but then checks up big time there. And decides and is able to fight back. Boy, what a bummer there for Brady Moats. But I've got to say, you know, he didn't send it in there. He didn't dump the 42. He didn't nudge him. He didn't throw him into turn 3 and 4. So Brady Moats is doing exactly what he said he would be looking from this league, was racecraft. And that's exactly what you see. He had the discipline and did not turn the 42 of John Freeman. Freeman coming away with the win. Well deserved here tonight. He ended up getting the lead there after an interesting pit strategy out there, and was able to come away with the win. Fantastic. Josh Conover saying Moats overcooked that goose on entry. Man, what a butthead. All right. All right, excellent job here. So we get one driver from almost every crew here. Dark Star Garage gets Brady Moats. CNC Motorsports get John Freeman in. And it looks like Speed Demon Racing is able to get Justin Cope in. So awesome job, guys. If you think your race team can hold up to these guys and do that kind of racing, which that's exactly the kind of racing we love to see here, then go ahead and sign up here for the NSR series on Tuesday nights. They're also opened up on Saturdays as well. And if I am not mistaken, I believe on Thursdays they're going to be running big block modifieds. They're going to see how that does out there in the dirt. Darkstar / Flatline. Flatline? No. I thought that was defunct, man. I thought that place went out of business years ago. All right, everybody, hang in there for just a moment, and we'll be right back. All righty, everybody. Third place finisher out here. Justin Cope started third, ended third. How'd this race go for you? Could it have gone better? Could it have gone worse?
No, it definitely could have went worse. I don't know, man. With Brady and John out here, it's hard to get much better. They're pretty quick. Just happy with getting a third place, to be honest, and pretty clean race. Had fun.
Yeah, taking a look at the overall here, since I've got you there, down there from Speed Demon Racing. Team Conti's been here. We've had we've got Dark Star Garage here now. We have Devin Lockridge Motorsports. You get a lot of race teams that come out here and test what the NSR League can do. You know, is there any more you can ask for out of a league like that to get big names in here to come down, lay down some times? I mean, it almost puts you guys to the test.
Yeah, we just the more the better. That's for sure. Just try to get out here and stick with them for the most part. So some of these guys, man, they just run off with it. It's hard to keep up. But I mean, there's been other times where we've run toe to toe with them, and it makes you feel good. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely changes it up. Whether if you guys' setup was the key to success here tonight. Was the truck feeling pretty tight or loose out there for you?
During practice, man, it was loose, but the track was way hotter. So I went with a little bit of a tighter setup, and I think it ended up being too tight for the race, just with the way the track cooled off. And it's just I was trying to loosen it up the whole race, and it felt all right. I mean, it wasn't nothing horrible, but it just not to my liking.
Yeah. Well, we were taking a look at the 59 out there, and it did look. I always say tight is when the vehicle looks like a brick. I don't see a whole lot of weight shifting. The car, the truck gets into the turn, and then it almost seems the back end wants to jerk and break loose on the back end, which is pretty rough. I know Richmond has fortunately some favorable banking, but next week is the Milwaukee Mile. That is not going to have some favorable banking. How do you guys get ready for that track next week?
Well, I've raced there one time, so I guess a lot of practice. It'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I've raced New Hampshire, and I know it's pretty flat. I don't know if that'll relay over to Milwaukee Mile at all, but just go out there and try to hang with them, I guess. Do the best we can.
It will. Tons of pressure on that right front tire, and that'll be the make or break of you guys. All right, Justin Cope, hopefully you can hang in there. You did a great job here tonight, coming away with a podium position. Shout out time, dude.
Yeah, man. Shout out everybody in the league for showing up. It really means a lot. I know Scotia goes through a lot trying to get everything together. You doing the broadcast. It really helps out everybody showing up, and just appreciate the ones that do, and appreciate everybody that's watching.
All right, Justin Cope, we'll leave it to you, man. Try to bring in some more of your friends. Let's get them out here on the track. Congratulations on your third place finish. See you next week.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, that's going to do it. Now let's go ahead and find the Dark Star / Flatline out there from what Josh Conover is saying out there in the chat. Let's just say we'll lean a little bit and get you wound up here, Brady. Quote, you choked on it this one, didn't you?
Well, I guess the process ain't working here. Man, Vinny missed on the set, bro. At turn 3, I was plowing. I couldn't even get the freaking thing to turn. And then, like, 20 to go, the freaking thing starts snapping. I was like, what in the hell is going on? Like, it starts snapping into the entrance of 3. So I was just, I mean, the setup was good. I was nailing 1 and 2, man. I was rolling the center so well in 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I choked it. I was just trying to be really clean. I mean, I'm new over here, so John's, I mean, obviously 2K better driver than me, like probably has a lot more laps and a lot better than me on ovals and stuff. So all in all, like more talented. So I wasn't about to just be like one of these kids, man, that's coming up and just run him over. Like I just told him down there, like, I'm not just going to run you over, bro. Like you can ask all those guys over there Monday and everywhere else that's always racing me. I'm going to race you clean. Unless you give me a reason to not race you clean, then there I am, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be like those kids, you see coming up. But all in all, I mean, it was a great night. That was awesome. I mean, that was one of the better battles. That was definitely a me Conover-esque battle there. I mean, me and Josh had battles like that all the time, but I mean, me and John that was an awesome battle there. Super clean. He did all he could do to hold me off there, and that was awesome on his part. I mean, very impressed with the night. It was very fun. I know we had a very, I guess a smaller field or whatever, but between me and the 42 truck, man, that racing was awesome. It was as good as something I do on Mondays for sure.
Yeah, and that was definitely some awesome stuff. Yeah, let's see. Right now, there have been a few recommendations out there that you're maybe not using Vinny's setup. You could race like Vinny and start dumping people like John Freeman out front. There was also wondering if but I would say some of your guys out there were kind of hinting out there. One JC in particular was saying that Brady would dump him for Olive Garden breadsticks. I'm just
absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you offered that, y'all should have just like pulled me up in the booth, like, hey, we'll give you some Olive Garden breadsticks, and if you nail them, like, all right, cool. I went down to 3 and just smoked them. It'd have been it. Easy as that.
Boy, but this is back-to-back races that you and John Freeman have gone at it. Back there at the Glen. Now we're here at Richmond. The Milwaukee Mile. I would say, as a broadcaster, as a previous racer, not exactly my favorite track. Not enough banking out there. Really flat. A lot of hatred when you get into the turns. What are you guys looking to get out of this truck when we move on to next week?
Man, I'll tell you what. I love Milwaukee, personally, because it favors that dirt track style. I feel like, and you just gotta, save the rears a lot. And then I guess I'm in the chase. I don't know how their chase works over here, but I'm gonna have to quiz Mark on that. But, yeah, that Milwaukee, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll be strong there. I'm sure John's gonna be fast too, man. I mean, he's got some great sets and what he's got going for him too. So we're gonna be battling him, that's for sure. All right.
What is it gonna take to get some of your Nora guys over here? Get them off the dirt and on the pavement.
Man, get Josh in here, man. I need to get him in here and get him running with us. But I mean, if we get him, and then let's maybe Mr. Cody Height. I don't know, maybe a few of those other guys. I know Vincent probably couldn't because of his work schedule with stuff. So I don't know. We'll try and get some of those guys over there in here, and it'd be nice.
All right. Well, I didn't hear you say that would be for the best, but go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, Brady.
Yeah, just shout out to my wife for letting me do this 2 nights now. Last night was interesting to say the least, but tonight was great racing. And then shout out to you and Estella, obviously both nights been on great broadcasts, all nights really. Shout out to Josh for helping me and also trash talking me and helping me get some motivation, I guess. And shout out to Vinny for the set. It's pretty good. I mean, Vinny had nailed the set down here 1 and 2 tonight, but I'm talking about in 3 and 4. It was rough.
I gotcha. Stella on both nights. You're crazy. It's me solo tonight, baby. Let's go. All right, Brady. Congratulations on your second place finish here, dude. Let's see how you do at the Milwaukee Mile next week.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Pat.
Yep. All right, looks like Josh Conover getting excited out there in the chat and saying that Brady Motes is not going to like saving rear tire, but somebody was able to save enough tire here for this race, ended up winning the whole thing, ended up being John Freeman. Got in the lead back on lap number 70 and beyond, and we're still able to come away with a win. Oh, boy, I got to admit, that probably these last 40 laps are probably some of the harder laps you've had to run here at Richmond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brady, Brady was running me down there at the end. He definitely saved just a little bit more tire. Whatever his buddy Vincent, or I think he said, put it under the hood, man. He was kicking with that one. So it was stressful those last like 30 to 40 laps.
Yeah. Well, we look here at the overall here of Richmond. We could have had a slew of cautions, man. I would say we got away with, I would say, almost the perfect amount out there. You guys probably ended up with about 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken, including the stage break. You know, if you could have gotten a caution, let's say with about 40 laps, 50 laps left to go, obviously 4 tires and fuel, enough fuel to make it to the end. You know, would this been a different race out here tonight?
I really don't think so, to be honest. I mean, you'd had some other guys that maybe pitted during that green flag cycle get some better finishing positions. But I even in that first little run we had there for like 30 laps to start the race, I really felt like me and Brady kind of separated ourselves from the pack just a little bit. If we, like you said, if we had a caution like 40, 50 to go, I think me and him would just ended up right about where we were at the end of the race, 1-2 right on each other's bumper. So I don't think it made much of a difference. I rather would have had the grip in my tires in a 30 to 40 lap run, but you know, just had to work with what I had there after that long 100 and I think 11 lap run.
Well, I'm also looking at, yes, you guys did separate from the field, and just to put it in perspective, the two of you guys were separated by half a second at the start-finish line. It was, from your time, about 13 seconds back, half a lap behind, was Justin Cope and Mark Sikosi, who sat 3 and 4. So you guys had definitely run away, so don't even take that out of your mind. You guys had definitely run away with this one. I was just kind of hinting if we had 4 tires of the rest of the field, you guys would be slicing through, because I noticed when Motes came down and took tires early, you came down probably, I think, another 10.
7 laps.
Yeah, 7 to 7. Yeah, I thought it was like 7 to 9 laps fresher tires, and then never looked back after that.
Yeah, the tires definitely made a difference, but I think everyone just had the one set left, and a few of those guys, 40 to go, had already pitted, so they were a couple laps down, so I wasn't necessarily worried about them. So I felt like even if a caution were to come out, me and Motes would probably start, you know, somewhere in the top 4 still, no matter what. And then at that point, I knew me and him would probably get back to 1-2. He, like I said, we both had really good trucks. I want to thank my setup shop, Twisted Speed, and also Motes' friend Vincent. He had a great setup. I feel like my setup was pretty good, and I think one of the two of us was going to get it no matter if there was a caution or not, to be completely honest.
Yeah, you guys definitely drove the wheels off this, as I see the wheels on wheel. Chevrolet comes in that number 1 spot, man. Can you do it again next week when we head to the Milwaukee Mile?
Oh, well, I've only ran one race there ever, and that was a fixed race, so I'm not too confident. But we're gonna give it, you know, everything we got. We're gonna try our best, and I know Brady and Justin Cope and a few of these other guys are gonna bring the heat, but me and the guys at Twisted Speed are gonna work on a good setup and see what we can have ready for the Magic Mile, Milwaukee Mile. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm confident we'll have the speed. I just don't know if it'll be good enough to beat some of these guys in here.
Well, Justin Cope said much of the same thing. He's run there once. So we'll see how it goes. Brady Motes is feeling pretty confident, though. So hopefully you won't be looking at the backside of that Toyota for too long. Hopefully you can get a decent qualifying setup as well. All right, John, congratulations on your win. Go ahead and give me a shout-out here, buddy, for all the sponsors out there on the truck.
Yeah, again, Wheels on Wheels Auto. I want to thank Twisted Speed Setup Shops, all my teammates, Brendan Schumann, Andrew Nagy, Glenn Grimm, Brendan Polt back at the shop. Big shout out just to everyone involved. Thank you to you for the great broadcast once again. You always do a good job, man. And I mean, everyone watching on the stream, keep tuning in. Try to share it to your friends, support it. We're trying to get this league up and running, and you know, make it pop off a little bit more. So hopefully we can maybe even see some of y'all on the track. So everyone have a good night, and thank you for tuning in.
John Freeman, appreciate the compliment, buddy, and I definitely agree with you guys. If you want to race out here at the NSR Series, nothing holding you back but air and opportunity. John Freeman, congratulations, and we'll see how you do next week, buddy. All right, that is going to do it out there. John Freeman pretty excited about his race win here tonight, and he definitely owned it here in the NSR Truck Series. Open setup, guys. Definitely look for a builder out there. Spend your time out here. Build that car. Build that truck even. Do something, guys. I know you can do it. Get behind the wheel. Give it a shot. We started with 11 drivers here tonight. I would have loved to see 21 drivers, which is super exciting. All right, that should do it for us here at the NSR Series. Guys, tomorrow, the Bandit Racing League kicking it off for the next round. We're super excited to see how they continue on for their playoffs. Eliminations will be coming extremely soon, so they're going to be really hammering down. You're going to see acts of desperation out there, and they are going to be panicking all the time, every time, around every turn, whether or not they're going to make it, especially to the end, winning trophies, winning money, and that happy stuff, and being able to put their name on that plaque to say, I won out there at the Bandit Racing League. But that's going to do it for us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, bringing you the NSR Truck Series, the Open Setup League. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.